Hi, my name's Stan Rockwell and I teach Tai Chi and Qigong at Williamsburg Landing. We just did our first video. We did it outside on a very nice afternoon. One of the things that sometimes happens when you're practicing is there are unexpected sounds and interruptions and things. Down at our last 2 minutes, someone was home, obviously, and was decided to do some sawing outside. And I think that can be a very good mindfulness practice. Many's the time when we've been in classes, both at the landing and other places, where people with weed whackers or leaf blowers or lawnmowers came right outside the window and we just continued on, or people were working on renovations to a building and we just continued on with our practice. I think that's an important thing. There's a story from a psychoanalyst in New York City who practices from a Buddhist perspective, and when he does workshops, he intentionally has people leave their cell phones on so that when they ring, people can just notice that there's a ring and they get on with getting back to where they are right now. There was a time a few years ago in New York on one October afternoon. The windows were open because it was nice out, so the sounds of the city were coming in. 2 cell phones rang during the course of that weekend workshop. And when they talked about their practice afterwards, there was a woman whose mother had passed away the previous July, and one of the rings was the ringtone she had for her mother. So when she heard that ringtone, she said it was the first time she'd heard it since July, and it actually made her feel closer to her mother. And she was in a room of people that she hadn't known before the workshop, but she felt their support during that. So part of what we're doing is to be open to the moment and to be right where you are right now. And if sounds or things occur, that's all right. You just let them happen. And as we say in the video, let them pass by like clouds flowing across the sky or leaves floating down a stream. If you're working on pain management, that's part of it too. A big part of pain is the emotional attachment we have to it. So with this, we're taking note of things in a non-judgmental way and then getting back to our practice. So this is our first time. Take it easy. There's a 70% rule we talk about many times. You stay in your comfort zone, and I hope you enjoy. Take care. Hello, and welcome to Williamsburg Landing's Qigong and Tai Chi class. If this is your first time, we're just going to go over the basics today and do some posture, balance, and breathing. It's basic principles in all of Tai Chi and Qigong, so that no matter how you're moving, just walking along, you can be doing Tai Chi principles. My name is Stan. We'll start off setting up our foundation. So you want to be standing if you can. At some point we'll do these seated too. Today we're going to focus on the standing version. Your feet are about shoulder width apart, as parallel as you can get them. If you have issues with knees, hips, ankles, you have to have your feet out like that, that's okay. There's a 70% rule in all of this. You only do 70% of whatever your capability is at this moment, not on your best day. So if you're having issues with something today, take it easy. You should be able to smile when you do this. If you can't smile, you back off until you can. If there's anything that's difficult or impossible for you to do, you can visualize yourself doing it. And there's a lot of research, both east and west, on the power of visualization in healing and in athletic performance. As you have your feet shoulder width apart, you just start to sink down into them. A big part of balance is knowing how your feet are connected to the floor and through the floor to the earth. We want to have our feet equally balanced left and right, so you can just kind of shift from one side to the other until you just sink down in the middle. Same thing front and back, so you're not too far forward, not too far back, you're just right in the middle. Your foundation is going to be an invisible line around the outsides of your feet, so everything inside that line, that rectangle, is going to be your foundation, and you want to be centered over that foundation. You have an invisible line attached to what's called the ba wave. If you've ever taken yoga, it's the same thing as the crown chakra. It's the last part of your skull to harden up after you're born. You have a line attached there pulling you straight up. As it does, it lifts you upwards. Our feet are grounded to the yin energy of the earth. Your head is going to be grounded to the yang energy of the heavens, and people are in between in Chinese cosmology. As you're pulled upwards, you're stretched, you're made taller, your vertebrae stack on top of each other. Tops of your hips become parallel to the floor, your tailbone drops, your hips move back just a little bit. Flattens out your stomach, flattens out your lower back. Again, if that doesn't feel comfortable, just relax into whatever feels best for you. Shoulders become parallel to the floor. They relax down the center line so they're not tensed up around your ears. They're not slouched forward or pulled back. They're just relaxed right down the center. The back of your head rises up. Your chin tucks in. Your head moves back over your shoulders so your head is nice and balanced on your shoulders. If you were to drop a line from your earlobe to the center of your shoulders, the center of your hip, the center of your ankle, that line would be perfectly perpendicular to the floor or close to it. There is no perfection in anything. Again, everybody's built differently, so you won't look exactly like anyone else when we do this, and you won't look exactly the same any 2 times you do this, neither will I. Sink down into it, just let everything relax. The breathing comes next. Once you're in harmony with gravity, you focus on the breath. And it's an abdominal breathing, which is how we breathe in the first 6 or 7 years of our life. And after that, we tend to breathe more and more from up here. So if you put one hand down here on your lower abdomen, another hand up here on your chest, and you breathe like you normally breathe, this hand moves the most. That's a stress response breath. And just breathing from up here is not as efficient. You have to breathe faster and harder. It automatically increases your stress hormones. What we want to do is best we can breathe from down here. So on the inhale, this hand expands outwards. This hand stays relatively still. On the exhale, this hand comes back in. If you have difficulty with that, again, you can visualize it, and it's something you can practice anytime, anywhere. I was working with a person one time who was in her mid-20s and had a real difficult time not breathing from her chest. And she was stressed a lot. So one way to just calm yourself is just with your breathing. When you inhale to your abdomen and make the exhale last longer than inhale, you bring on a relaxation response. You lower your blood pressure, you lower your heart rate, you lower the speed of your breathing, you lower your blood sugar, you change the size of your pupils, you alter your blood flow from your extremities back into your internal organs. You do a lot of good things just with your breath. As you breathe, if you feel any tightness or tension across the top of your head, your forehead, your eyes, your ears, your jaw, just breathe into it and let it soften. Let all the muscles in your face relax. Another way to calm yourself down relatively quickly is let all the muscles in your face relax. Use the muscles in our face to co-regulate each other through our vagus nerve. So just relaxing the muscles in your face can also help calm you down quickly. It takes practice. Any tightness in your neck, your shoulders, down your arms, and your hands, your fingers, just breathe into them and let them soften. Your chest, your stomach, your back, any tightness anywhere, just let it soften. Into your hips, down your legs, your feet, your toes, any tightness anywhere, just breathe into it. Let it soften and relax. One other part of breathing you can do if you want is touching the tongue to the roof of your mouth behind your front teeth. In Chinese medicine, that connects an energy channel that runs from the tip of your tongue down the front of your body to the perineum, and another energy channel that runs from your perineum up the back of your body around the top of your head into the roof of your mouth. They refer to that as the microcosmic orbit. It doesn't matter if you believe that in that or not. We're going to use it in later classes for some visualizations. In Western medicine, when you pass your tongue there just right, you disengage the muscles in your jaw. One of the ways we often express stress is clenching your teeth. So when you press your tongue there just right, you can't clench your teeth. So just breathe at your own pace, as best you can, and I know the pollen counts are a little high. In through your nose, out through your nose. But if you need to breathe through your mouth, that's okay. Again, you adapt it to however you're feeling at this moment. So if you want to exhale through your mouth and release the tongue and sigh, like this. With that sound, you just let whatever tightness, whatever tension is inside, just flow out and away from you. Pollen is a little high out here, so if I lose my voice, that's why. So with this, don't worry about getting things exactly right. Just follow along. Again, if you need to visualize, that's okay. This is a very basic kind of loosening up to start at the top and work our way down. Just let your arms float up with your palms facing you. All the movements are slow and smooth, like you're moving through general resistance, like you're moving through water. Just let your arms expand outwards, like all the joints expand out, but keep some bend in your elbows. You never fully extend your arms or your legs. There's always going to be some bend in your elbows and knees. You never fully compress. Turn your hands as you press in. You drop your elbows. You push your head back a little bit. Turn your hands and you press out. Let your hands come back down toward your thigh. Tuck your chin a little bit to feel some stretch in the back of your neck. Arms come up again as you inhale. Exhale when your arms come in, and it's like you're pressing your head back a bit. Again, you feel some movement in your neck. Turn your hands, press out, down. It's an inhale, and exhale. Inhale, and exhale. Come back to center. Get yourself nice and balanced over that foundation. You want your center over the middle of your foundation. Remember, your foundation's that rectangular invisible line around the outsides of your feet. If you were to drop a weight attached to that by way down through the center of your body, through the perineum, it should hit the floor equally distant, roughly between your forefeet or your ankles, depending on how you're built. Next one for your neck. Your arms float up with your palms facing, about shoulder high. Drop one arm down so the palms facing towards the floor. Other arm folds over, center of your palms facing towards the center of your forehead. Keeping that palm and forehead lined up, 70% of your range of motion, everything else stays still. You turn to the side, you come back to the center. Lower arm comes up, palms face briefly, hand drops down on the other side. You turn 70% to that side. Inhale to the center. Exhale out. Stay with me, keep moving. We'll do one more on each side. Back to the center, arms just come down, relax by your sides. Turn your head to one side, 70%, drop your chin, let it roll across the bottom. Don't press it down. Straight across the middle. It's an inhale. And exhale. And then just reverse. Back to the center, just let your shoulders roll towards the front. If you have issues with your rotator cuffs, just turn your hands so your palms are facing behind you and you can rotate your elbows. Take the pressure off your shoulders, but you get some movement there. And in reverse, shoulder rolls to the back. Hands come up, palms face down, they turn to face up, arms fold over, palms face diagonally downward towards you as you press down. It's an inhale and an exhale. If you want to practice some visualization, you can visualize clean yin energy from the earth coming into your palms, from Tien or the heavens coming into your palms, clean yang energy, and then pressing clean energy down through your body pushing stagnant energy out through your feet. In Chinese medicine, they see illness and injury as a function of either too much energy or qi, too little, or it's stagnant or blocked. And the purpose of all these movements, some of the purposes, is to get all the energy, the blood, the lymph flowing in the body. Stay nice and healthy. One more. Arms come up with your palms facing. Bring your fingers up so that they're pointed towards the sky. Bring your forearms in so your forearms and hands are touching. If that causes you issues and you need to have your elbows out, that's okay. Here we're just trying to open up the upper back. When the hands come back, it's opening up the chest as you inhale and exhale. Your arms are again shoulder width apart. Just extend your arms outwards and again feel all the joints expand, but stay in your comfort zone. Bring your hands back towards your shoulders, but not all the way because you want to keep softness in the elbow. Press out. And back. So exhale out. And inhale back. Just pause when your fingers are pointed straight up for the wrist. You just tilt your hands towards you and away from you. And again, you don't press it. And if you're like me, odds are your wrists are going to pop when you're doing this. I've never done this one. And then towards and away from each other. And then circles in one direction. And in the other direction. Fold your fingers over, thumbs on the outside. So your fist, thumb is on the outsides of your finger. Tai Chi Chuan is a martial art, so you never put the thumb inside. If you hit something with your thumb inside, you break your thumb. But you also don't squeeze tightly. If you open your hands and you have fingernail prints, you're squeezing too tightly. This is for your fingers. You reach, and your arm. You reach out, you feel that arm extend out. You open your hand, fingers extend out, curl back in, pull back. It's an exhale and an inhale. Flex your fingers, bring your hands about waist high, palms up. For this one, it's also for your fingers for flexibility. You just, as you inhale, you visualize all the joints in your hands and your fingers expanding outwards. And when you exhale, they just relax back. So just inhale, exhale. Do a couple more. Harvard calls this particular move Tai Chi Anywhere in their Tai Chi for Health program. And it's something you can practice anywhere. Nobody's going to notice. Just let your fingers come back to center. You're holding a ball in front of you. There's a lot of holding the ball in Tai Chi and Qigong. Elbow of the upper arm is dropped lower than your shoulders. You don't want it up like this. That puts too much pressure on your shoulder. Just drop it down. Lower hand rotates out, presses up. Upper hand presses down, so you get some stretch in your back. You come back to center. So exhale and an inhale. Just come back to center. The next one is also for your back, and it's also for massaging internal organs. There's a lot of massaging. So if I've got my fingers on my hips, I'm going to be turning like that, so my hips aren't moving at all. This hand's on top, so I'm going to rotate till the hands line up with the hip on that side, turn the hands around, keeping the palms facing, come back to the other side. You can just synchronize your breathing, inhaling in one direction, exhaling in the other, or just breathe however feels most comfortable for you. There's no judgment in Tai Chi or Qigong. Just come back to the center, put your hands to one side. We're going to do a little bit of balance work, and it's also for the hips and knees and ankles. Shift all your weight into one foot. All my weight's in this foot, so now this foot. This foot is my foundation. This foot is empty foot. And that foot goes out however far you want it to go, comes back. Shift your weight. Other side. And exhale. And an inhale. You don't have to step very far, just a little bit's okay. Remember that 7% rule. Back to the center. Then you have your hands palm down like you're resting them on a railing. You can visualize a railing there. Shift your weight over into one foot. Other foot's empty. This foot's empty. It goes up, the heel touches it. The hands go back a little bit, but you stay nice and balanced over your substantial foot. Your foot comes back to the middle. If you need to rebalance, you just touch your forefoot down. Arms go forward, foot goes back, forefoot touches behind you. You stay perpendicular. You don't go into a warrior three pose like you're in yoga. Come back to the center, shift all your weight to the other side. Same thing. Come back to the center. You're going to rotate as best you can your feet so your toes are towards the corner, a little bit of space between your heels. In Tai Chi, you never fully compress your arms either. Pretend like you have eggs under your arms you don't want to break, or tennis balls. Same thing with the groin. In the forms we do, there's always going to be some space between your fingers and a little bit of a curve to your hands, except when you're doing fists of some sort. And we have fists for this. For your knees, you shift all your weight into one foot, rotate the other foot on the forefoot. You step straight up, forefoot touches, and punch with the opposite arm. And come back. It's an exhale and an inhale. Back to center. The next one for your knees, shift all your weight into one foot, step up with the other foot so the toes are straight ahead. As you shift your weight into it, you're in a forward bow stance, so the knee of this foot is behind the toes. Both knees are lined up in the same direction as the toes. And you punch with the opposite arm. I get a really nice stretch out of this one. You come back. It's an exhale and an inhale. Back to center, get your foundation set up again with your feet about shoulder width apart. Shift all your weight into one foot. For the ankle, it's heel and toe. If you're at home and you need to put your hand on a chair or a wall or something to help with balance, that's okay. Come back to the center, shift all your weight, pick a spot, same spot as best you can. The outside of the foot and the inside of the foot touch the same place. Do the same thing on the other side. Come back to the center, being very kind and gentle to your knees, hips, and ankles. Shift all your weight into one foot. Circles one direction, then the other direction. Same thing other side. And then in the other direction. And you come back to the center. Almost made it through. One of the practices in mindfulness training is you allow distractions to come in and just let them pass by like clouds in the sky, leaves floating down the stream, and that's okay. Just come back to the center, let your arms come up as you inhale, and exhale. Come back to center. Thanks for joining me. Stay healthy and well. See you next time.